Settings. Settings.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put you on mute. And we are live.
In July, he was acquitted of shooting Iraqi civilians and killing a captive enemy fighter with a knife. The jury convicted him of posing in photos with a dead ISIS soldier and recommended a reduction in rank. Last week, the president restored Gallagher's rank, but in what many saw as a disregard of the president's wishes, Secretary Spencer called for a review of Gallagher's status, threatening to strip him of the prestigious trident pin that indicates he's a SEAL. In his resignation letter, Spencer, writing in part, "Unfortunately, I no longer share the same understanding with the commander-in-chief who appointed me in regards to the key principle of..."
Oh, there we are, the administrative state. So there's the administrative state that we've been talking about for the last couple of days. So now you understand. So you have the tail wagging the dog, and that was the big problem that we had. As soon as the administrative state didn't have their prime pensioner in power, they went against their prime pensioner because he was no longer their prime pensioner. So if you go against the unions and the administrative state, this is the result, according to many. And this is an opportune time for me to play this video and give you an opportunity to understand, if you looked at what we talked about yesterday, the difference between natural law and the Hobbesian Leviathanic principles. I'm starting to catch this. It's kind of weird, guys. As soon as I talk about something that's relevant to national sovereignty or personal or individual rights, automatically my mic turns off. It's the weirdest thing. I can't understand it. But everybody, welcome to the show. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you again to my buddy Howard, who is a former Navy SEAL and also, more importantly, a Fleet Marine Force combat corpsman, which makes him extremely special to me because coming from a Marine Corps heritage, having a father who was a Marine, being a Marine myself, the corpsmen were the people that we always revered the most, which is kind of crazy, right? Because you join the Marines, but you look up to your corpsmen more than you look up to your corpsmen like they're chesty puller. But anyways, we want to go ahead and get this party started. So let's get this party started. And just keep in mind that my buddy is having a problem getting his phone to go vertical on me. So it's just kind of weird, but we're going to figure it out. Even if he's got to communicate sideways today, I don't really care. It's a Sunday, so this isn't really that big of a deal. But here we go. To another edition of Ask Michael Ehline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Yeah. So I got my buddy. Yo, what's up there, you?
What's
hey, crazy
up?
so we got Howard. He's sideways, but I want to segue into what's going on. So Howard
Wait, am I still sideways?
You are still sideways for me, sir.
Oh, man.
But
okay.
keep in mind. So everybody in the sidebar, first of all, I want to thank everybody. Everybody just excuse this former Navy SEAL and combat corpsman for being sideways, because we always get sideways when the country is in a constitutional crisis, and we are definitely in a constitutional crisis. So we're going to go. Yeah, you know it. So, but my audience, Howard or Doogie or whatever you want us to call you, I just call you hero, because that's what I think anybody is who volunteers to sacrifice their life for their countrymen. But what I want to do is really quick explain to my audience what's going on. So right now, number one, this is a case we're going to talk about Chief Eddie Gallagher. And I just happen to have somebody who went through a BUDS class with Chief Eddie Gallagher. Chief Eddie Gallagher is the very first Navy corpsman / Navy SEAL to go through Marine Corps Stay Platoon sniper training, which makes him a super stud to me. Yeah. And Howard laughs because he knows about the way that Marines talk, because he was a freaking doggone there, you corpsman. And not only was he a corpsman, but he was a combat corpsman. So Navy corpsmen, they're our medics, and we really love them, and we'll do anything for them. I remember one time we went down into Oceanside when I had first gotten to the 52 area to get ready for MCT training. And we went out there and we had some fun out in the town, and we had a Navy corpsman with us. He actually wasn't with us. He was with another group of guys, but some people raised hell with him. And of course, we were told by one of the older Marines that we had to rat pack these people who were messing with this corpsman. And of course, we had no choice. We were like 18 years old. So we did it. And we didn't learn until later how important the Navy corpsmen really were, because we were just, still boots fresh out of boot camp. So I'm really grateful that I have Howard here with me today. I'm just going to call him Howard. And Howard works with my firm, and he helps us investigate motorcycle accident cases. And he's also the vice president of the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club Peacemaker chapter out in Houston. And he's just a really cool guy. And anybody who's a lifesaver and a life taker at the same time against the enemies of my people and my family, that's the kind of guy I want in my family. Give me a bunch of ones in the sidebar if that's what you want in your family too. Now, Howard, I still see that you're a little sideways, but the people in my group don't really care. All they care about is that you're here. Now, if you can tell me if you're on an iPhone or an Android, I'm willing to bet that somebody in this sidebar is going to be able to help give me instructions to get you vertical. So in the meantime, thank you, Gloria, for showing up. And thanks, Rob. I don't know, Rob. I'm trying to figure it out too, brother. So Rob's asking, why is he sideways? And
Is that better?
No, you're still sideways, brother.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all right. It's all right. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool in a way. Like, I'm not going to let it bother us too much. So Howard just bombed out on us. He's having a problem with his phone. So everybody, I want to tell you something. My buddy Howard went through a BUDS class with Chief Gallagher, which he didn't make it all the way through. He made it through his second class. And there's a lot of people like that, who take the bar exam 50 times till they pass. Or there's people who get injured in training, and there's people who just love their country. And I don't want you to discount them or try to put them down or try to think of them any different than just as a hero, because these are people who are willing to sacrifice their lives for you. So this particular individual, he's going to come back on. I'm hoping that somebody, not only was he a Navy corpsman, Chevy, but he was a Fleet Marine corpsman, which means that he was with us, which means he wore our uniforms, but he had the Navy insignias, but it was all on his Charlies or Alphas. He wore a Marine Corps uniform with Navy insignias. Roger that? You copy me, guys? You guys understand what I'm talking about? BZ Watchdog asks, where is his DD-214? Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I can usually qual a guy just by talking to him. And I know a lot of dudes got dishonorables. I know a lot of dudes got upgraded later. I know a lot of dudes didn't scramble to get upgraded because they just went into business for themselves. In my case, it was just a question of honor. That's why I sent in my DD-214 to this other Marine, because I was able to verify based upon the evidence that I had that he'd actually been in a high-speed unit. Oh, here we go.
So I'm not gonna have much lighting, but I'm gonna try to. This is all we got. This is all we got.
You're looking good, brother. You're looking good. So we just saw a little story about. I kind of give them a little bit of information about you till you can come and join us.
Okay.
But basically, that you'd been through one BUDS class with the chief, and that you graduated with another class. And right. I wanted you to share I want to share something with my audience. Okay. So you're talking to a guy who slept on park benches, sold his businesses so he could become a lawyer. So that's me. And right. I didn't pass the bar exam until the second attempt. Okay. I'm guilty. I didn't pass the first time. All right. And so I just want to tell you all that, but I became a very successful attorney. And when the government shut down the economy, obviously that really hurt our business a lot. And, and that just happens. But I just wanted to share with our audience that not everybody makes it through BUDS on the first run around. And in this particular instance, I have a guy here who is a legit combat corpsman who sewed up a lot of Marines. And I have a lot of love for Navy corpsmen, probably about this a little bit more than your average Marine, I would say. And he is the VP of the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club. And I'm having him on here today to help sort of navigate me through areas that I don't understand. Okay. Now, full disclosure, I do not know Chief Gallagher. I have a lot of respect for him, but I have about 1,000,000,000 times more respect for his wife. And I have a ton of respect for his son. His son just graduated Marine Corps boot camp. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 months ago. But what do you say, Doogie? About 6? I don't know, about 6 months ago.
It was about 6 months ago, I believe. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
so that's a Navy SEAL who's a corpsman, obviously major influence. So what I read and what I saw or heard in the podcast is that I guess they lived across from MCRD SD at some point when his son was young, and he just wanted to be a Marine. But I think there's more to it than that. I think that his fellow teammates trying to throw him under the bus may have played a role in his decision, in his son's decision to be a Marine. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here, Doogie, is because we're all seeing a massive infiltration of our administrative agencies, especially the Department of Defense, with this new woke sort of movement. And us older guys are just scratching our heads trying to understand, like, why does any of this stuff matter? If we get attacked, we want to have complete savage animals who are ready to go to war, like you and like Chief Gallagher. I don't even put myself in that class, but you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to hear what you had to say about that. Do you have anything you can add to what I'm saying?
Yeah, call us back. So
And why do you say that?
at the end of the day, it's one of those situations where, we are. I don't. I mean, of course, I haven't. I've been out about 6.5 years now. So I don't know what it's like anymore. Other than a lot of us want to come back, but we don't know if we're gonna fit in. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be there's so many things right now that there's so many factors. I can't even. I know when I left 6.5 years ago, it was getting to the point where we were, us combat vets were just getting phased out. We were too hard on the new guys, and it's the new Navy. So that was a big push for us, especially teaching combat medicine. So and I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know how many times people have said, "Hey, look, this is the new Navy. You can't be doing that. Hey, look, this is the new Navy. You can't be doing that." So it's getting tougher. I can't even imagine what it's like now.
Well, let me cut you off real quick. So Ralph Riley, who is definitely one of our hardcore followers and advocates of liberty, just sent us a $2 super chat. And I want everybody to understand something. There are some people out there that $2 is worth $1 million to them. So when I see somebody like Ralph doing stuff like this, it's touching to me. And I just want you all to understand something, that I do this for my family as well as for myself. But my wife doesn't like it that I spend all this time on YouTube. So anytime you do stuff like this, I promised her, and Doogie as well, we're teaching our children how to become entrepreneurs and how to get involved in journalism, because government journalism is basically corporate funded journalism, which is lies. And so we don't like lies. We like truth. And somebody like me, my father died from Agent Orange after our government lied to us about the Gulf of Tonkin. And so it's really motivating to me to see that there are still people out there, despite our government lying to us, like Doogie and others, who will always stand up for the guy next to them, to the left and the right. And that's why I've got him on here. And so in this particular instance, this is a case about Chief Eddie Gallagher, and he was a Navy SEAL. And we did see at the very beginning that Chief Gallagher, a Navy SEAL combat corpsman prior to becoming a Navy SEAL. And then, Howard, help me out here. My understanding is that he stayed a corpsman in the Navy SEALs. And could you sort of explain to us how that works? Like some guys like you could go from combat corpsman just to being a straight SEAL, or you could become like a SEAL and also a SEAL corpsman. Is that, I don't understand how that works. Can you help us understand that?
Yeah, 100%. So essentially, it's set up very basic, right? So you're an operator, and essentially any qualifications. So being a corpsman, it's considered a qualification versus a actual like job, right? So you're a SEAL first, and then you become qualified to be a corpsman, right?
Yeah.
So that's really how it all works. I mean, every team, like, like I guess you take a Marine platoon, for example. You got everybody that does different sets of jobs, and those jobs, like you got a machine gunner, you got all these people, but they're a Marine first, right? So
Right.
at the end of the day, just because you're a machine gunner doesn't take away of you being a Marine. So that's the way the teams is set up. So I don't know if that helps, but
Oh, hell yeah, it does. I get it. So one of my buddies he was Anglico, and then he went MARSOC, but not Raider. So I guess that makes him what they call a critical skills operator. So in his case, if he had been a Raider, he was a radio guy, got cancer on his back now from all the equipment.
yeah.
You feel me? Like, so as a lawyer, these are the kind of guys that call me because they're like, well, I saw on your website you were a Marine, and I just don't trust civilians. So that's about 90% of the cases that I'm like, dude, I was nobody, bro. I barely made it out. I didn't even make it out of 52 area. No, I don't care, dude. You're still a Marine. So that's what. So I'm hearing these stories about guys with cancer on their back from these radio packs. And so he's telling me, okay, so I was basically Anglico, right? So that's air, naval. What are those guys? They call in artillery strikes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, so they're forward operating people. So they're out there, I couldn't tell you very much what they do because I really don't know what Anglico does. I just know they're out there. They're the guys who does call in the air support. They're the ones who call in, things that we need. So
I love it, man. It reminds me of so many stories I heard. So when I was in boot camp, our senior was he was a force reconnaissance Marine, and he just used to rip on the admin guys. And our staff sergeant was a Marine public relations. Oh man, it was just like, dude, it was like a cat fight almost. Public relations, you're still Marines, big goddamn it. Hey, check it out. So really quick, I want to share something with you, Doogie, because you're still new at this, and I think that you're going to be a superstar here because you're so humble and such a good guy. So I want to teach you. So Ralph Riley, he's saying, Squid, can you elaborate on the continuity of operations? So Ralph's a buddy of mine, but just understand something. Ralph, Doogie Howard, he's not a law dude. He is a straight up warrior, and he is a healer of men. He is I guess you would call him a shaman back in the old days. He's not a law guy, and he helps me with the firm. He helps me get guys medical treatment. He helps me raise money for injured guys who got hurt on their bikes, especially if they were vets. But he's not a legal guy yet, and if that's what he wants to do, I'm going to help him do that. But the reason I have him here today is because we are in a constitutional crisis as of a few days ago. And this is a man who actually served alongside of Chief Eddie Gallagher, and I consider Chief Eddie Gallagher to be a hero. And I consider him to be another example of how the administrative state targets real men who stand tall for their families and their country, because I believe the administrative state wants to replace fathers with the government. And I believe they've done a good job with the news media and their control over social media to try and do that. So that's why I have him here today. But also at the same token, Doogie, I want you to also remember, like, Ralph is a legit supporter. I would say I would definitely put him up there as a non-commissioned officer if we were in combat. Now, BZ, Watchdog, he's a former Force Reconnaissance Marine, and he's saying, no DD-214 was falsified in the making of this live stream. So we've got this dude out there apparently who doesn't believe that anyone was a real military service member unless they send a copy of their DD-214. So somebody called me out and I sent it to them, and now they're saying that, well, since I was injured in training, that means I wasn't a Marine. So the bottom line is, don't send in your DD-214. All it does is give them artillery.
Right. I'm not worried about what people say. So at the end of the day, I know what I accomplished. I don't need to tell anybody.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Now with me, it's a little bit different because I do have a law firm and I have family. And so when someone disparages me or my law firm and lies about me, it causes catastrophic damage to our family. But I do understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate that. And when I spoke with Don Shipley about it, he was like, you know what, brother, don't even talk to these guys. So that's what I've done. I've just cut them off. But you basically have affirmed that. But it strikes a chord with me because I guess for guys like me who never had an opportunity to serve in combat or never got a combat action ribbon, being a Marine, it's like I just feel like I just never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people tell me I need to be proud, but it's like, dude, I never even got a chance to like test my mettle. I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny, and I'll comment on that. One of the big things that I run into, especially being a Navy corpsman, right? When I run into Marines, you get two types of Marines. You get those that have been in combat, and you get those that haven't been in combat, right?
That's right.
So the one thing that you'll see, you could tell when you're around Marines, you'll get these Marines talking all kinds of trash about Navy corpsman, or Navy corpsman this, Navy corpsman that. That only proves they've never been to combat.
Yeah.
Any Marine that's been to combat, any Marine that has done anything or has been anywhere would never talk trash to a corpsman. You know what I mean? So I've never, and I'll be honest, I mean, I'll straight up call a pogue a pogue. Anybody, and what, I don't know if anybody knows what a pogue is. You go research it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right now, like, if some dude ever comes to me and says, hey, you're just a corpsman, blah, 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 and I'll be like, look, bud, your pogue status means nothing to me.
You're right, Howard. And I had, my dad's best friends were Navy corpsmen.
Mm.
Yeah. And his other friends, a lot of them ended up committing suicide.
Well, I have a lot of friends, when I had come home, and it's funny story. And I actually got in touch with my 2-5 guys. So when I deployed, my last deployment was with Fox 2-5 Marines. I was in Ramadi, and I had come back, and I had a couple of weeks in country before I actually went to Buds. And it was crazy because of stories that I heard from these guys. A lot of them, when they got back, a lot of them got into, drinking, drugs, jail, suicide. And I didn't even know, it was tough. It was a tough moment. And, when I got back, I went straight to Buds. So I really didn't have time to kind of decompress or to think about what happened over there. And now looking back, I really wish I did. But, listening to their stories now and the ones that actually made it through those tough times, it was kind of motivating. It was like, man, I'm proud of you, and I've had guys that on the battlefield, but like, Doc, you did wonders for me. Thanks for being there for me. Thanks for saving my life. And I get those a lot, and that's why, to me, it's important we do what we do and we help other vets, here in Oklahoma, I can't tell you, I've never felt so out of place, as a veteran than being here. You know what I mean? It's very hard to find help, very hard to connect with other people that been in situations like me, because I run into fake Marines all day. I run into fake sailors all day, and I ran into a couple that I was a Marine Corps sniper, special forces. I used to jump out of airplanes. Like, bro, really? It's like,
As soon as
what
I
did
hear
you
that, I
do?
immediately disbelieve it. As soon as I
Right.
hear that, I immediately don't believe anything. That's why I always tell everybody,
Oh, man.
dude, I got hurt at fucking 52 area.
Well, everybody's got their story, and I don't. I think I'm at the point now in my life where I used to get angry about it, and I used to get really mad about all these guys that claim to do stuff that they haven't. But then at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, you know what? I should be happy because you know what? These dudes are trying to be something they're not. But
They want to be you, Howard.
right. I mean, I wouldn't say me, but
No, it is true. They do.
but yeah. But it's kind of cool to think, like, okay, now you want to be a warrior. My only thing is just, let's just be about it. You know what I mean? Go do it.
Go
At
do
least
it.
stop talking about it. So I think that's one of my biggest things with a lot of the guys. And again, just coming from where I came from and all the people that took their lives for the very thing that, everybody claims that it's so heroic to be in combat. It's so heroic. I don't wish that on anybody. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. My dad was he used to do this with his thumbs. He would scratch his thumbs like this, and he had this huge mountains of skin right here. And he would do this, and my dad became a multimillionaire. He lost everything like 3 or 4 times. Total nervous wreck. He was a workaholic because of the war.
Right.
So I do know what you're talking about, and obviously that's caused a lot of damage to me too. So I get it. But one of the things I want to also teach you, Howard, and by the way, I really do appreciate this bare bones conversation that we're having, because right now we've got 64 people in here, and these are all patriots who love their country. I would say most of them anyways. And so I'm super grateful you showed up. But now in the sidebar, I don't know if you can see it, brother, but under comments, you should see people talking to us on the right side.
I don't see anybody.
And now, if not, you need to look on the very far right, and there's buttons. One says comments, one says something else. You want to click comments, and then you'll see this big thing open up with all these people chatting and talking to us.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay, a copy of that. All right. So a bunch of people have given us super chats, and what that means is it means they're supporting our channel. So we'll show up on Sunday when our wives are screaming at us, saying, "I need you to go and fix the shed or go dig a ditch or whatever." So we just lost him, but he'll be back, guys. But I'll just keep on going with it. And so I'm going to go ahead and answer. Okay, here we go. All right.
Sorry.
So we lost. It's okay. It's okay. We lost you for a second. So guys, everybody, I want to share something with you all. All right. So what I do on the side, outside of my law firm, is I go down to Camp Pendleton every once in a while, and I give speeches to the EAS Marines and sailors at the Wounded Warriors Battalion. And so there's a picture of Howard on my Ehline Law Firm website where he's at the Wounded Warriors Battalion at Camp Pendleton, exactly where I go. And it just motivates me that, like, we all think so much alike, like people like Marines and freaking SEALs, man. We just have that very similar mindset. Obviously, I was never a SEAL, but at least I got my EGA. But the bottom line is that we try to help people at the Wounded Warriors Battalion and the EAS Marines find work and find jobs. And so that's the kind of thing that we do. And we do it for free. We don't charge any money. So when you come on and give us a super chat, like $1.99, like this is my buddy BZ Watchdog. This is a former Force Reconnaissance Marine. Obviously, he's been through he's got his problems, his battles. $1.99 to him is worth $500 to some of my other friends. And so I just want you to understand, like, these guys are saying, they're literally throwing down a couple of bucks on these super chats, saying, just so you and I will put them at the front of the line to answer questions, because they respect me and they understand that I wouldn't bring someone on who was a piece of garbage. And so the first thing that BZ Watchdog said is, you don't need a participation ribbon or a medal to be a Marine. And I agree with that, but you got to understand something. Being a jarhead and volunteering to be infantry when your dad was in the artillery, I wanted to one up him. So I didn't never got to one up him, and it really made me angry, like in a big way. Now, so the next thing is PC Watchdog again. Well, hold on a minute. Now we have Ralph Riley, because Ralph Riley accuses me all the time, Howard, of missing his super chats. And this is a big thing that I want to teach you about, brother. When you have like people coming on your channel, if they're going to throw down $5 to like make sure that you respond to their question, make sure to be looking on that right side there. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure to take a look over there. And what he's asking is, do you guys know that the Mennonites were drafted? Most of them were corpsmen. And I didn't know that, but I believe that because I believe that would make them conscientious objectors. Now, Howard, I think the difference is with you is
absolutely not.
yeah, right. With you being a fleet Marine corpsman, I mean, my understanding is you guys have to be able to handle the Mark 19s. You guys got to be able to handle the M203s. You have to be able to know how to shoot. It's not like a standard medic, right? I mean, help us understand that.
So as a corpsman, we are not allowed to handle anything above essentially an M16. Under the Geneva Convention, we are non-combatants.
Copy
Is
that.
what we're supposed to be. Now, whether or not, so, I mean, I can't speak for a lot of people, but what I did over there was pretty awesome. I did a lot of great things, especially with my Marine brothers. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't hold anything against any conscientious objector. But for me, I don't ever feel safe without a weapon. So
yeah, I identify as someone who doesn't feel safe without a weapon, especially when our country just allowed 20 million illegal aliens from third world countries who we have no clue about their backgrounds, a lot of communist Chinese nationals. So I'm on board. And by the way, look above. Chevy just said $10 to the corpsman. And so what that means is, and by the way, I still owe BZ Watchdog and another dude some proceeds from one of our last chats, but Howard is basically telling me that I need to be sending you $10. So that's what that says. If you look above there, he's saying thanks for showing up and standing tall for our chat. So let me also share another thing with you, Howard. Like most people that come into my chats expect me to do it every day, almost
right.
like a Tucker Carlson or like the Rush Limbaugh show back in the day. And so it's really, really hard for me to do it. So, and these people are not wealthy, and so like when I see $1 or 50 cents and I say, Annika, look, you're going to college. Actually, no way, never going to college. But Annika, now I can give you some money to help you, start your own business. But you get it, right, brother?
Right.
You understand. So I'm trying to teach my kids how to become entrepreneurs. And I see guys like you, you're still young and you're just getting beat up left and right. And you're not in a position where Harvard or Yale or someone's going to give you some kind of tenure, but the life experience and wisdom that you have, you should be sharing that with everybody. And so everybody in the sidebar, everybody give Howard a bunch of ones, and please go to his channel at Howard KP Jones. I believe, is that your YouTube channel, brother?
Yeah, sure is.
So Howard KP Jones, and go ahead and add him and like and subscribe. And I'm telling him all the time, make sure to upload your stuff. So here's what I need you all to do. So he is a fitness dude, obviously being a SEAL, but he also is an entrepreneur. So I want you guys to put in the sidebar, give me some comments to tell me the kind of videos you'd like to see him do. Now his TikTok videos, he's picking up, what are you getting, about 1,000 views per video now or more for those TikToks?
I would say, yeah, just a K, just 1,000 so far.
Yeah, you're killing it, man.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
So guys,
very basic.
the problem is just like me, military guys were not super tech savvy. So I'm asking if there's anybody in the sidebar, especially females who are patient, who can offer some assistance. I would love it if somebody could volunteer some time to help him edit, teach him how to do shorts, and help him build out a channel. And obviously, I'll also volunteer my time to promote his channel because I think he's got a lot of good things to say. Now, that being said, in the sidebar, because I've neglected our audience, Howard, and that's why I wanted to make sure you could see these people. Typically, at the very beginning, I always make sure that everybody knows what's going on. So at the bottom line is Ralph Riley already throwing us like $5, and obviously Ralph Riley is our main man. He's the stud of the day. I spent some time with him over the last couple of days, just hearing him out. He's a good guy. So Gloria says she's got to run. I got to run mod for Tav. Nice to meet you, Howard. So Gloria's leaving. So Gloria is one of our main people who hangs out with us. And she's almost in every single hangout. And I think she's back east. So keep her in mind because she'll end up being one of your regulars, Howard.
I got you.
Yeah. And then Brick Jonesy, I think his father was Navy, but his uncle was a Marine. And he is a legit pro-constitutional America kind of guy, pro-Articles of Confederation. So I have a whole host of different people. I got people who support the left, people who support the right, but all of them support natural law and natural law theory. So that's kind of what we got going on.
Hold on one second. All
right, so we lost him for a minute, guys. So what I'm going to do, because we're already about 36 minutes in and we still haven't talked about Eddie Gallagher other than the intro video, is I'm going to go ahead and put the slideshow that my kids helped me make up. So hopefully, give me a bunch of ones if you guys are happy so far. If you guys feel neglected, let me know. And obviously, Chevy, thank you. I owe you, Chevy. Thank you for showing appreciation for Howard. I always, whenever I run across war fighters like Howard or guys like my dad, I always have a special place in my heart for them because I know that part of their soul was stripped away from them. And I saw that with my father and what a rough life he had and how he was a workaholic and it was really rough. So I always go out of my way to stand tall for people who actually served in combat because I know they're messed up. At least they're messed up in the way we think. Now, in the way they think, they're probably normal. So don't ever assume anything. I'm just telling you from our perspective as people who never had an opportunity to test our mettle in combat, people like Howard, especially people who have like sewn people up and patched people up and had like, it's one thing to get shot and then send your buddy to a corpsman, but it's entirely another thing to be a corpsman and like push your buddy's guts back into his body. So think about that. Now, so
can you hear me?
Yeah, hold up one second. I can hear you, brother.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sure can.
All right, stand by.
Sorry about that.
So I've got BZ Watchdog says we're experiencing horrific weather in Oklahoma and Texas. Is that how it's going over there for you too, brother?
Yeah, it's getting pretty hairy.
All right. So I'm gonna do this slideshow really quick, just to try to like bring some levity to the conversation. But basically, Chief Gallagher, by the way, you went through a BUDS class with him. What BUDS class was that? You remember?
251.
All right. It's always interesting because the guys who never went to BUDS always say like BUDS class 5,000 or something.
Well, that was the BUDS class I went with him. I didn't make it. I wussed out and quit. So
I appreciate that. I do. And what's cool about you, man, is that you don't mess around, you know. You didn't make it, but you made it. You made it eventually.
Right.
And that's all that matters to me is that you made it. You earned that title. Now, the next thing. I created this really cool little slideshow here, or a little timeline. So in September of 2018, based on my research, Chief Gallagher was arrested for war crimes, including the murder of an ISIS prisoner. And then between 2018 and 2019, he was held in pretrial confinement, including which sparked debates over his rights, right? I don't know if you remember this, but it was all over the news. Like this guy was like basically in like, what do they call that? Solitary confinement.
Right.
And then Yeah, and then in July of 2019, he was acquitted of most of the serious charges, but he was found guilty of posing with a corpse. And then, of course, he filed the lawsuit in 2020. But I found some other lawsuits. And look, I've reached out to Eddie, but I know he's not going to reach back out to me. He's already got a lawyer working on his cases. What I'm trying to find out is I'm not able to find out additional information on his cases. Apparently, there were 2 lawsuits or 2 legal actions, and the only thing I can find is some basic stuff. Hold on one second in the sidebar here. By the way, Mama Lion, thanks for showing up. Amazon, thank you for showing up again. I did not receive anything from you guys about getting books, but if you still want to get some, I'll hook you guys up. Let me see here.
Can I just say something real quick to everybody once they start? Yeah. So, hey, look, everybody, I appreciate y'all coming on and chatting with us, especially hearing hearing me and listening to my ugly mug. I can't thank you all enough for all you guys' support, and I appreciate it. So if there's anything, again, myself, and my club could do to help everybody out. I know it's tough out there with veterans and PTSD, all kinds of stuff. Just reach out, let us know what we could do. We'd be happy to help. But for the most part, I greatly appreciate you guys being patient with me and letting me run through this gamut of nastiness that I don't know how to run tech stuff. So thank you.
Hey man, they're pretty patient. They're pretty patient, bro. They sometimes I'll get cut off for like 3 or 4 minutes of audio because something's wrong with my computer, but they're all super cool. The thing is, what you want to do is make sure you look over in the sidebar, and if anybody's asking you a question, always track back over there, because these people are volunteering time to come on and support us and support our cause. They're supporting you as a person. And so you need to give them recognition, as being a military guy. That's all you got to do. I mean, they're not putting rounds down range with a pig or whatever, but they're putting rounds down range for you and what you believe in. So these people are really good people. And so, by the way, Jim Dufit, I thought Michael Ehline changed the format. What I did do is I changed it from horizontal to vertical, because most of my viewers are saying that they're viewing us on iPhones and we got this horizontal thing and they don't like it. they like it vertical. So I'm going vertical,
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, Chevy says that Doogie is the man. And that's why I want you to look over from time to time, brother. Because, these guys.
I appreciate it, Chevy.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So because I don't want to be the one talking all the time. I want to
Right.
just do a little prezo. So you got it. All right. So Amazon says board up your home, brother. So I hope I'm not causing trouble by having you in here.
Well, I probably need to start heading out, because I don't know I could hear the rain and it's getting a little nasty, But.
Copy that. So I'm gonna get through this real quick, because I'd like to. All right, because I'd like to keep you here just if there's any incidental type questions. So basically, there were naval personnel, probably POGs, who leaked sensitive information about the Gallagher case, including witness interview summaries. Copy that?
Yeah.
They leaked that. And Chief Gallagher, and I just love calling him Chief. I'm just so stoked that he got to keep his rank, brother. Anyways, he sued the Navy Secretary, Kenneth Braithwaite, who is a hardcore lefty, guys. I mean, that's the problem that we're all having, is like, why is it always the hardcore lefties who hate the military? I mean, why have they declared war on us? Like, we're there to fight for all of them. Anyways, and New York Times reporter David Phillips, another hardcore lefty. If you look on Act Blue, take a look at all their donations these journalists make. You'll never see one made to anything other than a radical left winger. And that's why military personnel are like, we don't believe anything anybody says, because we think it's all political. Anyways, by the way, check this out, bro. See right above, it says Brett Ray gifted 10 Michael Ehline memberships. So what that means is that there's 10 people who are non-members who are going to get memberships so they can go back and look at all my private stuff that I posted. In your case, it could be private pictures of your medals, private pictures of stuff that you did when you were overseas, private pictures of cool things that you've done in life, private pictures of you at the gym or a workout routine, things that you do that you think could better the lives of people online because you're donating a lot of time. So these people are showing their appreciation. You copy what I'm saying, Howard?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So I charge like $5 a month or whatever, and I give all that money, if we get anything at all, to our kids. And I'm using this as a tool to teach our kids how to become marketers, so they don't have to be lawyers if they don't want to. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into it really quick. So basically, Times reporter David Phillips is being sued for defamation, as well as the Navy secretary. Now, what I don't know, guys, and I haven't had a whole lot of time because one of my members, out of the blue, when I'm getting lunch today, about 2 hours ago, said, I want to hear about Eddie Gallagher and what's going on with him. Trump pardoned him and we're really upset and this and that. And I was like, okay, man, I got you, bro. I'll do a show, but I don't have all the info. So I got everything that I could get, and I'm going to try to share it with you right now in the next 20 minutes or so. And then we're going to let Doogie go because he's got to square himself away for this hurricane or tornado or whatever it is. But the bottom line is President Trump supported Gallagher, and his lawyer, Timothy Parlatore, which he is a top-notch New York lawyer. This guy is the shit. Okay. He's a good lawyer. And the Gallaghers are very, very fortunate to have this guy. And he was saying they were considering further legal actions regarding the contents of a book that was written, I guess, by one of these SEALs that was an attention seeker. So the bottom line is a bunch of new SEALs threw this chief under the bus. They didn't like the way that he was treating them because he was hardcore and he was trying to make sure they didn't come home in body bags. But they were part of the new the woke military, in my opinion. That's a conversation for another day, and I can already see Howard's kind of giggling over there under his breath. So I think I'm probably right about that. The bottom line is David Phillips from the New York Times covered the trial, and he interviewed the Navy SEALs who accused the chief. And basically the legal claim is that, Gallagher was held without just cause, and I could find no evidence I could find no evidence that these were valid charges. But the bottom line is these were political charges. This was a political persecution, in my opinion, being a lawyer and having extensively studied the case. And we know that the government conducted illegal surveillance on Eddie Gallagher's email communications between him and his lawyers. And that's why, a lot of you guys know, I represent Chile de Castro in out-of-state matters. And that's why I don't trust telephonic communications when I call them at the jail, right? Why would I, when I know our government has illegally been spying on even a Navy SEAL, a dude that's got... Now, Howard, help me out, brother. Don't Navy SEALs have some kind of a special security clearance or something?
I mean, we all have, it just depends on what security. Obviously, there's different types of level of security or clearance, right? I mean, we all know, especially with everything that's going on now. I mean, look at what Trump's going through. I mean, if they could get the president, I mean, just think of what they could do to us. That was a sitting president. I mean, Gallagher. I mean, you're taking a team guy / the things that he's done. I mean, I feel like there should be, I mean, we all have our rights and we all have, I feel like we should all be safe and not be subjected to any type of surveillance. But at the end of the day, golly, man, look at what they did to a sitting president. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to even explain it. I mean, we're not safe at all.
Well, hold up real quick. So he was a sitting president, but right now he's out of office, and they're trying to prevent. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Now, real quick, because I know, dude, I hear that. My audience is saying they hear that noise, And
Yeah.
I think they can see the anxiety in your face. So I'm gonna get through this real quick, brother. So the
Okay.
bottom, I got you. So the bottom line is they spied on this guy, and we now know that there's basically a public-private partnership where all these tech companies and all these big corporations have the FBI and CIA working for them, and so there's a huge part of this country, at least half, who no longer trusts our government because they can see that big tech and all these hardcore leftists now basically control our administrative agencies. And that's what I'm hearing from people all over the country, and they're terrified. Now, the bottom line is that these government officials have qualified immunity. And this is what Chili DeCastro, my client, often talks about. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about him. And so the bottom line is these people who violated Chief Gallagher's rights, illegally spied on him, illegally charged him, and used witness intimidation and every kind of technique they could under the sun. They were not able to convict him because there were a bunch of Marines on the jury. And that's really what happened. We had a bunch of Marines on his jury, and the only thing he was convicted of is photographing himself with a dead body. Now, I just want to share something with you, Howard, before we go. When my dad was in Vietnam, it was common practice to take pictures of yourself with dead gooks, as they called them. And I've got pictures of necklaces with ears on them and all kinds of stuff with dudes wearing tiger stripes who were Force Reconnaissance Marines. And that's why I don't mess with Force Recon Marines, man. Ever. Don't mess with Force Recon Marines, guys. These dudes are savages. And if I find evidence that you were a Force Reconnaissance Marine and I rousted you or caused trouble, I'm going to treat you just as if you were the top 1% biker club in the country. That's how I'm going to be thinking in my mind. Anyways, Howard, so I think other than just trying to look on the sidebar, do you see any questions you want to answer? Because honestly, I think most of the people are here because they want to hear you. So if you see any questions,
Oh yeah, I guess BZ watch out. Yeah, BZ. That's exactly. It is rain. It's coming down pretty heavy. It's weird. The land of Oz is coming for you, Doogie.
I think it means like Wizard of Oz or whatever.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the land of Oz. I get it.
Yeah.
I tried painting in green bee. Are you too old? Amazon, are you too old? I don't know. What do you mean by too old? Who's the justice? American justice. Oh man. Well, I think I can't thank you all enough for listening to me and having me on here. So Michael, I appreciate you, brother. You've done wonders for my chapter and helped us out. So I'm definitely much appreciated, and I'm hoping to get out there more to help other vets too, especially with PTSD. Gallagher's situation is very unfortunate. I feel like a lot of times, they utilize our past, and you see it everywhere, to basically weaponize it to kind of hurt us. And is it jealousy? Is it because nobody else has been through the same stuff as we've been through? You never know. You never know. They're always trying to beat us down, and I've noticed that with a lot of things that we've done, especially in my life. You get to that success point in your life. Gallagher was a chief, and he's done a lot of great things for the community, and I could see people getting really jealous of what he's accomplished in life. And basically, that's when people want to tear you down. You get to a certain level in leadership. I seen it when I became a first class. It was very lonely at the top. They always say, because I couldn't befriend the chiefs and I couldn't befriend, my second classes because I was the supervisor. And and when people you get to that level, people do get jealous, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure you're going to be in pain. Um, and it's so funny because I've helped and mentored so many sailors, guided them through so many things, so many troubles, Marines too. And you know, if you're looking for thank yous and you're looking for that pat on the back, a lot of times you'll never get it. You'll never get it. And I think that's where Gallagher is, right? With
Yep.
him, he, I mean, again, when you're at that level, it's very lonely. You can't turn to nobody except for, you know, I guess just whoever you can, whoever's on your side. It's a delicate balance, and leadership is man, I can't even express to you guys the amount of stuff that I've been through in my career, and I can't even imagine what Gallagher was going through.
Me neither.
Um,
Me neither,
just
man.
being betrayed,
Yeah.
being stabbed in the back, by the people. Because I know for me, um, and I guess I can't really tell you guys too much of my story because I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. But I was betrayed myself, um, and it was painful. It was painful. I really hated it. There was nothing I could do. I felt like I was on my own a lot of times. It was lonely, um, and at the end, it broke me sometimes. But a lot of times I just had to say, "Hey, look." I think what's fortunate for me and what got me through a lot of the pain was my family, knowing I could be there for them when they needed me. And there was times, I was like, man, I don't know if I could rise above this. And then I would come home and see my kids' faces, um, and it's just that's what pulled me through. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. I don't know if
That's
that helps
pretty awesome.
anybody, but
No, I think it does because there's a lot of people in this room who've been betrayed, and a lot of people are really worried about the republic and about what's going to happen to this country when our administrative agencies have been weaponized against families and people who believe in the Constitution. And we're all terrified. And Eddie Gallagher, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, to me, are the Smedley Butlers of this century. And I encourage all of you to take a look at Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller and Chief Eddie Gallagher and really familiarize yourself with their stories because they represent the other half of this country that doesn't get exposure in for-profit media. And my friends like Howard here, this is the guy who would have pushed your guts back into your belly, sewn you up, and sent you back to your mama. And I want you to remember that. These are the kind of people that matter to me. And being a lawyer and all, that's great. But, it's just a job. So I encourage all of you to build parallel systems to where you associate yourself with honorable people who support you and support the constitutional republic that our founding fathers hopefully wanted, at least the dream that was Rome. Let's support the dream that is America and not make it the dream that was America, like in the Gladiator movie. Let's make this the ongoing America that lasts forever. So really quick, Howard, the way that I do this is I look in the sidebar before we sign off and make sure to thank everyone for showing up because I know that this is a big project to keep people happy. Amazon says that the U.S. streets need to be cleared up big time. And by the way, I also wanted to tell you that Brett Ray sent us $50. Take a look up there.
oh yeah,
So Brett Ray just sent us $50. So remind me, and I'll make sure to send you $25 because the way I look at it, I'm trying to help you out, brother. Everybody, please make sure to add Howard. Howard, what is your YouTube channel? Say it out loud, please. If you don't remember, you don't remember. I'll put it.
I know it's Howard KP Jones. That's all I remember. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad at this. So,
and I'm bad at this too because I'm trying to monetize some humble dude who doesn't even have any clue about any of this stuff because I want to help him because I think that he has a lot to offer, and I feel as if this dude, from all the shit that he's been through, could come and offer us some helpful advice, and he has not been jaded by the legal system or anything else like that. That's a positive thing. I think innocence is super, super important. Although he may not be innocent when it comes to some things, he's innocent when it comes to the law, and he's innocent in assuming that our government's just going to look after us under the law. And I'm here to tell you that they won't unless you have sheepdogs out there like me who protect you, because they will not look after you. The administrative state does not care about you. Just remember that. The administrative state does not care about you. They care about their families. They are the new proletariat. They are the new king's men. That's all that's happened is basically we're turning back into a monarchy, but now the WEF is the king. So
thanks, Chevy. I wanted to thank Chevy. I think he posted my YouTube. I appreciate it, bro.
That's badass, man. So that's what I was trying to tell you, Howard, is like these dudes are legit, like super patriotic people in my channel. And I know that they're going to support you. And I'm telling you right now, if we can get the LMCI involved in social media, it'll be a game changer, man, for the whole club. Because I'm going to tell you all right now, although the Leathernecks LMCI, they're not like a 1% or an outlaw club or whatever. They have that value system of honor, decency, and loyalty that just makes me proud. And I'm super, super proud to support the Leathernecks LMCI. And Doogie is one of their VPs. And so you understand. So in order to be a Leatherneck, first of all, you had to have been a Marine. That means you had to earn your EGA, or you had to be a corpsman. And so Doogie happens to have that honor of having been a corpsman. And Chief Eddie Gallagher was also a corpsman. And Chief Eddie Gallagher's son, his adopted son, ended up becoming a Marine. And so I'm like super like infatuated with the whole Eddie Gallagher deal, not with him or any of that deal, but just the concept of, man, I wish I had a freaking dad like that. Damn it. I wish my dad was a Navy SEAL. I wish my dad was a Navy corpsman. I wish my dad was a sniper. I mean, not that I'm not super proud that my dad was a badass Marine, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, who wouldn't want their dad to be Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson, right? To me, that's what Eddie Gallagher was. What do you think, Howard? I mean, do you kind of understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, sure do. I was pretty, I've been pretty fortunate. My dad was awesome and guided me through a lot of things in my life. When I came to the States, I didn't know how to speak a lick of English. I came here when I was 12. I really didn't know. I wanted to go to college and didn't really, fare very well in that realm, I guess. And then basically, my pops really, really wanted me to go join the Navy because pretty much that was really the only thing I could do. And I was pretty fortunate, right? Because, I had a supporting family. I had supporting, friends. There was times where, again, people's jealousy really got to me, right? Wanted to see me not succeed. So anytime I would talk about the SEALs, they would be like, dude, you're too stupid to get into that. You're too fat, and I was like, okay, that's fair. But the big thing that I stress to people, especially, discouragement and things, that if there's something you want to do, just do it. At the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is you tried. And if you fail, hey, look, you just know I got to pick myself back up and maybe restart, reset, figure it out, and move forward,
Roger that. Hey, by the way, I don't hear the rain kicking too bad right now.
Yeah, I think it's slowed down a little bit. BZ said something about Chevy is going to create you a song. What kind? Hey, look, it better be a good song. Look, I've been listening to music that my daughter's been listening to. I'm not sure if I want to listen to that.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And,
Uh,
and that's another cool thing that I noticed too. Like the super based men, they always have like kids, and they're fighting for a bigger purpose than themselves. And I always appreciate that. I see that a lot with military people, and super grateful to have you on. Look, honestly, man, I'm hoping that we can get Eddie or Eddie's lawyer to come on and talk more about his lawsuits. So really quick, while I've got you guys on here, I'm just going to do some real quick screen sharing with y'all, and then I'll let you go.
Failure is not audit review. Carolina is here.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
Failure is not an option. Dang, Skippy, it's not. Hey, look, especially with a non-English speaking individual like myself,
That's funny.
Appreciate you guys.
So I'm just looking around here to see if I can find anything cool to share with y'all. So I have this. So what I want to do is I want to share with y'all this lawsuit. So this is the PDF. Hopefully, can you still see me and all that?
I can.
All right. So what I'm looking for, there we go. So hopefully, let me just really quick try to share this with y'all. It looks like it's not going to work out because it's not giving me the full picture, but really quickly, I'm going to go through this with you. So Eddie's lawyer, a New York attorney, brought a lawsuit on his behalf. And the nature and the cause of the action, really quick, I'm just going to share this with you, is he's suing a journalist and he's suing the Navy. And basically the Navy was allegedly illegally sharing information with the press. Same thing they did with the Mar-a-Lago raid. No different. The same exact crap. It's all partisan politics. That's why people don't like this, because they can see that it's partisanship. It's not this is not a nonpartisan thing. This is basically they're trying to make sure that the other party doesn't get their guy in power, and they're using all these administrative agencies that are completely dominated by people in their party. And basically what's going on is Gallagher sued for unlawful disclosure in violation of the Privacy Act. And what that means is that the Department of the Navy willfully and intentionally disseminated information that was protected under the Privacy Act. So hopefully you guys are following me so far. I wish that I could get a better view of this for y'all. Well, at least you can see Doogie down there in the corner now. But so people can see this on their phones, apparently, dude. I don't know how, but that's what trying to understand how this works. But so what's going on is we have an unlawful disclosure in violation of the Privacy Act, and that's what he's suing for, as well as a lack of accounting under the Privacy Act, because the defendant willfully and intentionally failed to keep an accurate accounting of the date, nature, and purpose of each disclosure made by defendant David Phillips. The third cause of action is defamation. And you guys all know about defamation because that's what I specialize in. That's what I did primarily before I became a personal injury attorney. And the SLAPP, anti-SLAPP is my area of expertise. Now, the next thing is defamation by implication. And this is a creative theory. And basically, they're saying that defendant Phillips intentionally and maliciously published numerous articles that were intended and reasonably understood to imply that Chief Gallagher was actually guilty of those crimes. So, in other words, you were convicted and prosecuted and hung in the press. Hopefully this is making sense for all of you. And then the fifth cause of action was intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, I don't have a lot of time to go over each cause of action and to explain what defamation is, what intentional infliction of emotional distress is. But what I want to do really quickly is, well, I have Howard here, is sort of explain to y'all that I didn't find any information about Chief Gallagher suing for false imprisonment or any of the typical things that you would see if somebody was falsely imprisoned. And I'm
Thanks,
going to be
Mark.
honest with you, Howard. I'm not a pro when it comes to government immunity, but I would imagine that JAG courts probably are afforded a lot more immunity from being sued under 1983. And I was hoping you might have something you could share with us. Like, in other words, you can't really sue a JAG board for civil rights violations as easily as you could a regular, type of a situation
Right.
where the police are coming after you. What do you have do you have anything to say about that?
No, I mean, only the horror stories that I've dealt with. Essentially, in the military in general, it's so backwards, right? I mean, you're guilty, until basically you have to prove your innocence once you get caught. Like it's a weird situation because it's like, man, like I thought you're innocent until you're proven guilty, but that's not how it works in the military. They could get you. I mean, they'll slap 20 different charges on you, hopes that one sticks. I mean, that's pretty much what, how it all works there. You know what I mean? So it's a weird situation, and again, I can't even imagine what Gallagher and his family was going through. Like, I can't. I mean, I'm so happy that he actually, is able to get an attorney because, man, I can't even imagine. I just don't even know. So,
Well, I can kind of show you that this is his wife right here. It's Andrea or Andrea, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. I mean, my understanding about her is that she had a son of her own already, or two kids of her own, and she married him, and he went for it, and he committed himself to that relationship. It looks like the guy on the right there, that looks like his lawyer. I'm not totally sure. I'm just trying to give you guys a quick rundown. Now, it looks like he's got 2 stars on that combat action ribbon, Howard. Can you see that? Or
yeah, I can't see it. It's too small on my end.
that? But he did at least, 3-4 tours, right? I mean, that you know of.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's just legit. Unfortunately, they're still living in communist California. Hopefully, I get it. They love the ocean, and that's what kept me in California for so long. But if you love your kids, you'll flee California as soon as possible. Now,
Kurt,
so this was,
I guess Kurt Brunson. What do you want? What do you want me to say, Kurt?
Yeah, just keep talking, and I'm just going to scroll and show people imagery. Go ahead, Howard, and then I want to show you this video real quick.
I'm just trying to read. Again, it's so weird to think that the government could really come after you, even though I don't know. I think for me, it makes me so angry because we do nothing but support our country. And for our country to come at us the way they do is it's weird to me. It's just very weird. I'm not happy how they dealt with Gallagher, but Gallagher is one of those cases that has high vis. I mean, can you imagine? What about those that aren't high vis? That can't afford things, and I mean. There's so many veterans out there that have gone through a lot of torturous stuff. So I can't imagine. I don't know. It just breaks my heart a lot. So because I wish I could just go out there and just help people. And
you can and you will. And look above there, Brett Ray said, "I was hoping to leave a wonderful country to my grandchildren, but." So if you can see, I shared that right on this image here. And this is, I'm telling you right now, dude, like you guys like you should be running for governor. You should be running for local politics. I'm just telling you right now, you're a super honest, trustworthy guy. You're exactly the guy that I want in a position of leadership. Give me a bunch of ones in the sidebar if you
I
guys feel the
appreciate
same way. Give me some ones, guys. Give it to me right now. Hurry up. Hurry up. Give me some freaking ones.
Brett, I guess Brett Ray, I was hoping to leave a wonderful world to my grandchildren, but I tell you, one of the big things that I look at, right, is hope. Never lose hope. At the end of the day, we could complain about stuff. We could say all these, crazy things. But we got to be the change, and I think that's where we lose a lot of people, because we're at the stage, as and it's so weird, and it's very weird because I feel like it's the minority. The majority are, I guess, they just have had it and are just basically closing themselves off to the rest of the world. But I mean, really and truly, if you look at the big picture, I don't think it's everybody that feels this way. Now you got to think though too, a lot of the stuff is getting filtered through, news media outlets, TikTok, all your social media outlets. So I really and truly, I wouldn't lose hope. Because I can tell you right now, we got a lot of people out there that want to see our country succeed, and I really hope it does. But we got to fix ourselves internally, and the only way to do that is to get the majority out there to do it, and not let them ruin our country. So at least that's my 2 cents. I don't know if it's true or not, but.
Oh, that's cool, man. I think people can see that you're a genuine guy, Howard, and I want all of y'all to support Howard's channel, and any single ladies out there who are super hot, you're more than welcome to like and subscribe. And I'm just joking around, brother.
Right. Hey, we take that rewind.
No, my days of Oceanside, I just had a flashback of going on Weekend Liberty and having somebody like a Howard with me, and having all my buddies going, keep an eye on that guy. If something happens, be prepared to meet your maker. I just remember that, man. Like, I got to tell my audience, like Navy corpsmen, the way that we were taught was that, like, if something happens to that guy, you might as well just go AWOL.
Oh man. I used to hate it. I used to hate it when I was a boot. And they used to always put me in the back of the stack, like every time. And I'm like, bro, I want to be in front. And they're like, no, you stay in the back. That's where you belong. I was like, golly, why? I don't like it back here. It's lonely.
That is hilarious. Look, I remember when I was always marching, because I was always the short guy. So I'd have to take like 30 steps to keep up with the guy in front of me.
Oh man.
So it's like you got to work twice as hard, right, to get the same credibility.
Oh yeah.
And you still don't, because when you go out in Oceanside, all the chicks want the tall guy. So either way, you're stuck with seconds, right?
Hey, look, imagine being a Filipino guy that's short and stubby.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I got it, brother. Let me tell you something, brother. Dude, I've seen a couple in a straight way. All right. In a straight way. I've seen some of them TikToks videos of you working out, and dude, you are freaking yoked, bro. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, you look like you got, if I was you, and by the way, if there's anybody in my sidebar who can help my friend Howard, volunteer some time. And if I gotta throw a couple bucks at you, that's fine. Teach him how to get these videos uploaded into YouTube and help him build his YouTube channel, because I think that he should be on here all the time. How often do you run across a super genuine dude who's also a warrior and single? Think about that. So, I mean, for the ladies only. Don't get the ideas.
We don't. Not that I'm advocating for this right now, but you know what I mean. Hey, look, I don't swing that way.
Yeah, like if you're some crazy stoned out vet, this guy's not the guy for you. He's into women. So now, one thing I want to share with you real quick is Brett Ray so she's a big time, or I'm assuming it's a she. Well, Brett that's a dude. Okay.
Right.
So all right. Yeah. So Brett, sorry, brother. Just that for some reason, Ray, I used to have a girlfriend with the first name Ray. So I apologize. But the bottom line is Brett is a big supporter of the channel. And so there's a lot of ways you can look at this, Howard. You can try to get millions of followers and try to become, I don't know, some kind of an icon, or you can find like-minded people who think like you, because we all know we're stuck in our homes now, and it's, everybody's working remotely. So the only real friends you're going to get, man, are the people you get online. I'm just telling you, brother, other than a motorcycle club that's like 400 miles away, you can do that too. But man, if there's people who are like-minded and they're helping you build out your channel, and you're doing good for the country, like you're helping me push forward this post-traumatic stress disorder legislation and anti-cancer legislation for the West Coast vets, and you're helping me do stuff like that, man, you're a shoo-in. They're going to want to support you, and then you can devote your time to doing what you love to do, which is being a healer. So everybody just understands something, that my friend Howard is a healer. He would be considered, I guess, a shaman back, 1,000 years ago or whatever, but he's a healer, and that's what he does. And he heals people, and he sews people up and patches them up. And he brought a lot of my friends and people that we love home. And so I'm telling all of you guys, I'm expecting you to support him. Give everybody in the sidebar, give me a bunch of ones for Howard, and then I'm going to shut my freaking trap, and I'm going to let him answer any questions that you all have in the sidebar. And then after that, we're going to let him go.
Oh, man.
You got a bunch of ones at least.
What?
There's a little bit of lag, by the way, brother.
I got you. Stacy says, I'm sure you will come across an amazing woman, and it'll be when you least expect it. That's very true. Hey, look, I'm not pushing the issue right now.
Well, that image of Just Justice looks pretty good. The Just Justice logo looks pretty hot.
Oh, jeez. Oh, golly. Let's see what else we got. What was your job, Howard? Medic? So I'm a Navy corpsman, so a medic by trade. It says, Brett, tasers do you have record of when taking out and used, time and date, etc. Oh, bunch of ones. Howard, what branch would you choose now to enlist? Oh, man. Oof, that's a good question. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would still join the Navy regardless. I think the only thing I hate that's going on right now is the way they're recruiting. I don't agree with their recruitment efforts. So, but I got to stay true to my Navy. I mean, it's just one of those things that I mean, I don't think I could join any other branch. Like I said, I've been pretty fortunate in my career that, being a Navy corpsman, I was able to essentially, I had the best of both worlds. When I didn't make it through SEAL training, I actually got, diverted to basically, with the Marines. And, I got to serve with the Marines. I got to be with some great people, great dudes, and, served with a lot of great people. So I think for me, being in the Navy was was very, very awesome. I mean, I can't stress enough, because, I mean, I don't know what else rate I would do in the Navy, but at the end of the day, being a corpsman was the best rate in the Navy to me. I mean, not to be biased or anything, but
liar.
Right. Would the Navy recruit transgender men? Oh man, Amazon. I don't even know. I don't even know how to touch on that. That's a very touchy subject these days. I'm going to tell you guys right now. When I came in the Navy, I was very supportive of the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" policy, And for me, it wasn't because I had something against anybody who preferred, same-sex marriages or anything to that nature. I think for me, it was just more so like I didn't really care who you were with or what you did on your off time. But when it was time to go to war, it's wartime. So it wasn't like I don't care what you did. I don't care who you did it with. At the end of the day, if I attack a hill, I just look to my left and my right, and you have to be there. That's all I cared about. And we're seeing a lot of people now, especially when I was teaching medicine. Guys that, I mean, I don't know. I would be scared to have them by my side. So it was a very weird situation. But then again, it was my job to ensure that they were ready for combat and ready to deploy and ready to take care of Marines and or sailors on the battlefield. So it was tough duty for sure. So
you got a shitload of questions on the sidebar there, Chief. You might want to scroll up because there's a lot of people. Dude, I've never seen this many questions. I've never seen this many questions, brother. Please don't let them down.
Okay. Ask Alice, were you enlisted or officer? I was enlisted for sure. I didn't cross over to the dark side yet. Yeah, Master Chief. Oh, bro, BZ, big dog. I'm not a Master Chief for sure. I was a peon. I was the one that the Master Chiefs peed on. You know what I mean? Plead the fifth. Stonevet wasn't. What don't you like about? Says, what don't you like about recruitment methods? Well, Bruce, I think we're deviating. Really, I think with the new initiative that I don't even know what she is. She or a he or whatever is going on with her.
They, them, there.
Yeah, I don't. Anyways, they're pushing a whole new initiative right now.
Pushing Freudian slip.
They're pushing these things, these weird recruitment videos where they're just recruiting. I mean, it's just I don't know. I guess for me, I'm just not used to the recruiting methods that they're using nowadays. Back in my day, it was just old school. It's like, hey, are you wanting to go to war? Great, sign up. Now it's like, hey, look, it's kind of, I don't even know how to explain it without I'm probably making a lot of people mad, but
not in this thread.
Alice, Master Chief is enlisted. Ghostman, yeah, Master Chief is enlisted. What it says, accept all genders, but I'm just thinking, would the Navy recruit traditionally as in men or today's wondering? I'm a firm believer. I don't care. Okay, so I used to teach medicine, right? I was in the FMF school in the West Coast, and we were actually in the process of allowing females to go into combat, especially corpsmen. I mean, we've had corpsmen go into combat, but basically be attached to a grunt unit. And somebody asked me the same question: would you allow females into combat? To me, if you could handle the load, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're carrying close to about 185 pound to a 210 pound man, dead weight with combat loadout. So at the end of the day, if you could carry this dude, and I'm not gonna lie to you, we've done a series of tests. I've seen females there. They haven't been able to do it. I don't think I've seen one really pass the test. Now, have we lowered the standards for them to actually pass? Yes. Is it fair? I mean, at the end of the day, I couldn't tell you if it was fair or not, right? Because again, when I'm attacking a hill, the least of my worries is, am I going to be coming home to my family, right? Because that's the infamous question. Everybody could say what they want. Everybody could say, hey, combat's this, combat, anybody could do it, anybody, because I've seen males can't even do the same job, So at the end of the day, I look at it from a standpoint is if if I lower the standard for somebody and I have to be at a higher standard to do the same job, it makes absolutely no sense. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of these issues, we're asking the wrong questions. I feel like if you hold me, a male, to a standard going into combat, I would expect a female the same way too, right? So there should always be a standard. So I hope that answered your question. I'm really not good at this.
Well, let me just cut you off really quick, brother.
Okay.
The fact that you're such a genuine guy, to me, you are like the Elvis Presley of YouTube. I mean, that's why people loved Elvis, because he was almost like an innocent guy, and that's how you come off to me, but yet I know that you're a savage warrior as well. And I think that is just exactly what this country needs right now. And I'm telling you right now, brother, if there was a way I could get Chief Gallagher to come on, I'm sure that he would say the same thing. I mean, what I see that you have star quality. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys think that Howard's got star quality. And honestly, this is a super humble Navy SEAL. This guy does not look. He works for my firm. All right. He does not want me to put under his name that he served in the SEALs. He does not. That makes me want to put it there more. That's right. Look at him. He reminds me of like Hoss or something from Bonanza. Super humble, but you know that he could pick up a bale of hay and just throw it like 50 yards, like this is not somebody you want to mess with. Right. You're laughing because you know what I'm saying is true, Howard. Yeah, you got it, man. So let's just look. So here's another thing. So I'm trying to help Howard out because I think that Howard should just do live streaming. I don't think he should be one of these like snowflakes who sits there and edits out all his and right. I think he should be. And give me ones if you think the same thing. I think he should just be live streaming all day long when he's at the gym. Should be going on his motorcycle when he's out riding with his brothers, and he should be trying to teach life lessons to all y'all who never got an opportunity to serve and who don't even know what it's like to face death. Because somebody like that is a good leader. He's a good person to have in your corner. So give me a bunch of ones to support Howard. Look in the sidebar, bro. Look at all those ones, dude. That's how they show their support. I'm just trying to snap you in like we're at the rifle right now. Because this is where I'm good at this stuff, but I think you would be better. I think that you're going to have, mark my words, by this time next year, you're going to have over 500,000 followers, and about 499,000 of them are all going to be wishing that they were your baby mama, and they're all going to be hot. So, by the way, Stacy Parenti says, thanks for the great live stream. So here's another thing. This is really hard for me. Being a lawyer, I bill by the hour. So, $500 an hour if I can, but typically I do contingency work. So they're expecting you to be on here for an hour minimum, 2 hours, then you're getting into their zone. So look, people don't like watching the news. People don't like watching TV. They don't believe anything that the government says. They know that the news media is basically the propaganda wing of the FBI and the CIA. They don't believe anything they say. So when people like you and I come on, they're like, hell yeah, I want to watch this guy. I'd rather, I'll pay him some money just so he'll come back again. And that's what you want, man. You want to have that because it's a symbiotic relationship. There's no shame in somebody compensating you for your time, brother, because you have something to bring to the table that 99.99% of the people in this world could never bring, brother. And I'm telling you that. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Look at BZ Watchdog. Look at all those ones.
Golly. Thanks, BZ.
Yeah.
I'll say something. I remember, so I was getting asked to come to be an instructor, right? And one of the Master Chiefs actually asked me, they're like, hey, what separates you from all the other first classes that we have coming in? And my answer to that question was very simple, right? I don't feel like I'm better than anybody. I feel like I have experiences and life experiences to bring to the table. I'm never going to ever claim that I'm better than anybody, because, you know, my experiences are totally different than the next person's. And what I bring to the table is what I've been through in life. And that's what I encourage everybody. I think really and truly, no one should be better than anybody. Have I accomplished a lot? Heck yeah. Have I done a lot? Heck yeah. Have I been to war? Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, again, you know, if what I've been through in life in the Navy comparatively to what I'm going through in the civilian world is two totally different things, you know. So I give everybody props, you know, who really, I mean, if you haven't joined or have served, hey, look, more power to you. I don't know how you do it, but you know, because I know for me, spending 20 years in the Navy, I had to relearn a lot of things. And, you know, just watching people sharing experiences, you know, at one point, you know, I had to stop saying certain things that I said in the military. Like, yeah, yeah. I remember working as a manager at a grocery store, and basically, you know, everybody asked me like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm great. At least I'm not getting blown up today." You know, that's not something you say, you know, to a civilian, I guess.
You're right.
So, I mean, you know, today I'm not getting shot at, but it's raining. But you know, there's certain things that I had to kind of calm down a little bit and basically, you know, try to bring my life experiences to people. So, I guess for me, to conclude, basically what I'm saying is that I'll never say that I'm better than anybody or want to be better than anybody, but I really appreciate everybody's support. And your experience and your life experiences is really what counts, you know. And I think that's where it's at really in life. So that's all I got.
Well, that's pretty badass, man, and I appreciate you joining us. And it sounds like the the rain has ceased for a bit. Now, one of the things also I want to point out is sometimes you'll get some politics going on. So what goes on in the sidebar is sometimes YouTube will block people for whatever reason they have, and then sometimes your moderators who you appoint to keep all the they call them trolls, like people who just want to trash talk you to get attention. It'll
Right.
happen. And so you appoint mods to delete these people from participating in your chats. But sometimes your mods will delete people that you don't want to delete. And so if you look in the sidebar, apparently there's some kind of a battle going on. Apparently somebody thinks that I deleted them from participating in the chat. And I'll admit that I have deleted some people who are just crazy nut jobs, right? But as a general rule, if you're like one of our regulars, I don't want you deleted, as long as you're not like trying to like talk trash on people or get super negative on folks when you don't have all the information. I'm pretty cool with it, brother. But I'm looking in the sidebar. I just want you to see like it does get political sometimes. And
Yeah,
now,
I tried to read some. I just can't. Man,
yeah, you know, if somebody was blocked or whatever, I'll get it fixed. You know, I get text messages all the time, like some one dude will say, "Hey, this one dude's being a jerk," and this other dude's one dude. I'm just like, man, can't we all get along because we're all fighting for the constitutional republic, right? So, anyways,
yeah,
but I just want y'all to know, like, so Ask Alice really likes you. Apparently, Ask Alice doesn't like me. I saw a real negative comment that I did something wrong, but you know, since I'm married, I'm used to a million different types of Alice's, depending on whatever personality disorder she's in that particular day, to come at me. So yeah, I get it, man. You know, but Alice, honestly, you know, I'm not spending my time here to try to get rich. I'm trying to disseminate information and help my brothers who are having a rough time out there to help, especially my fellow veterans. And anybody who's been wrongfully accused or is having a rough go of it, to help them get a better life. And I'm not ever going to be all things to all people. So clearly, if I'm doing something wrong, you let me know, and I'll talk to my moderators and we'll get it fixed. Because I want everybody who's got a voice, if it's positive and it's helpful and it's going to help make America a better place, then that's what I want. Now, Mama Lion, I love having you here. So this is what I normally do. So Ask Alice says that I hide users' comments, and Ask Alice, I'm not going to lie, I do hide users' comments who are scumbag pieces of garbage, but as a general rule, I try to let everybody have their fair speak. And then BZ Watchdog, our Force Recon guy, he's going to get rid of Alice in a few seconds, and so that's usually what happens. But I just want you to understand, don't let the trolls take away from the conversation too much, Howard. If they present themselves as legit people and you think that they're going to be helpful towards our mission, which is to make America a better place, then that's a good thing. So let's just go ahead real quick and take a look in the sidebar. My goldfish drowned says we need to get some KFC. What do you
And that's what I'm talking about. Hey, look, I
yeah,
fried chicken. Golly, I can't eat it right now.
Yeah.
Busy, come on and go.
And then Brick Jonesy. Now, Brick Jonesy, I think his father was a Navy man, and I think his uncle was a Marine. And so Brick Jonesy, really cool dude, man. He's all about the Republic, and he's got a lot of knowledge of the law. He's somebody that I think will definitely support your channel. So I think we need to get your channel built out. And yeah, you got to do it, brother, because this is where you're going to get the support that you're not able to get when you're away from your brothers in the club. This is where you're going to get people who care about you and care about your mission. And, you just that's how it is. And a lot of these people believe in Jesus, and they're Christians as well. So, because you're going to find that like-minded people generally are.
Right.
Yeah, that's just how it is. And then, so Drophead74, I really appreciate you coming out. Let's OTVO, I do appreciate you coming out as well. And then, Amazon, I was hoping you were a good one. And then Bruce R. Kurt Bronson, powerful message, he said. See that right there? Powerful message. So these people are listening to you, man. So you got to understand, like when we were growing up, we watched like G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and now they're watching us because to them, we are like a lot of these guys never served, a lot of these guys don't know the law, or they're not lawyers. And so when they see someone who's got a background in that, and we're willing to share our time and energy with them and share a little bit about ourselves, and not just be assholes like 99% of these TV lawyers, and just be real, they appreciate it. And I know that, at some point, if you write a book or something, they're going to buy a copy of your book, right? They're going to try to support you because they care about you, dude.
Yes. So, thanks, Kurt. I appreciate you, my man.
Yep. And go ahead and say your goodbyes, and I'll go ahead and close this out, brother. Go ahead and say, whatever you got to say. I'll give you a couple minutes.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you, everybody, for listening to me. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I greatly appreciate you all. Thank you for your support, especially for, just everything you all do. I can't thank you guys enough for helping me out, helping Michael out, and just giving us what we need. So, if there's anything we could do on our end, please let us know. I'm happy to serve and happy to help anybody out that needs help. I appreciate you all. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, that's fine. And so what I always do is I always kind of give them my little trademark. Okay, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. And make sure to actually save it to your computer, because if they delete the channel, at least you'll have these videos for your posterity. And everybody, thank my buddy Doogie for coming out. Now, his motorcycle club supported me and my family when our own government refused to hold a funeral ceremony for my father because of COVID. And now we know, based upon evidence that came out yesterday, that Anthony Fauci just made up a bunch of bullshit rules that had absolutely zero basis in science. And that prevented me from being able to say goodbye to my father and a lot of other people. And so I want you to remember that as we close in this message, that the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club made it possible for me to have an actual memorial ceremony for my father. And Doogie, who happens to be a Navy SEAL, who was also a Navy corpsman, And that's how we became a member and ultimately a president, and right now a vice president of the Peacemaker chapter. His organization made it possible for me to send my father into the afterlife. And so I want you to look at loyalty as part of the message that I'm sharing with you today. When somebody does you a favor and a turn, that you owe them a life debt, and you always must honor that debt, and you must pass that on to your ancestors. And that's part of being a warrior, and that's what the Ehline, the team MPE, that's the message I want you to learn. When someone stands tall for you, you always stand tall back for them, come hell or high water. And with that being said, really quick, I want to thank everybody. Ask Alice, BZ Watchdog, Mama Lion,
Yeah.
I am. Brett Ray threw us a bunch of bones today, man. And I'm super stoked about Brett for helping out and supporting you and me on this Sunday. Brick Jonesy, BZ Watchdog. Anybody else you can think of, Howard, and I'm going to go ahead and close this out.
No, I can't. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, Mama Lion, Brick, everybody. I mean, you are BZ Watchdog. Thank you, Alice. Thank you for your comments too. I know there was some other comments there, but I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. I mean, this is where it's at. I greatly appreciate you all having me on.
Yep. And I'm just going to go ahead and
Postman, thank you.
yep. And I'm going to go ahead and just say goodbye to everybody by playing this last video for everyone. So here we go. And then everybody, we're done after this. So goodbye.
Iraqi civilians and killing a captive enemy fighter with a knife. The jury convicted him of posing in photos with a dead ISIS soldier and recommended a reduction in rank. Last week, the president restored Gallagher's rank, but in what many saw as a disregard of the president's wishes, Secretary Spencer called for a review of Gallagher's status, threatening to strip him of the prestigious Trident pin that indicates he's a SEAL. In his resignation letter, Spencer writing in part, "Unfortunately, I no longer share the same understanding with the commander-in-chief who appointed me in regards to the key principle of good order and discipline. I cannot in good conscience obey an order that I believe violates the sacred oath I took to support and defend the Constitution." Earlier Sunday, Gallagher lashed out on Fox News.
This is all about ego and retaliation. This has nothing to do with good order and discipline.
According to NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Cubey, current and former military and defense officials say military leaders trying to save Spencer's job actually lobbied President Trump on board Air Force One to stop intervening in Gallagher's case. On Sunday, the Pentagon also saying Secretary Spencer had proposed a secret deal to the White House that would allow Eddie Gallagher to retire and retain his Navy SEAL status. Defense Secretary Mark Esper saying he was deeply troubled by this conduct. The president tweeting, "I was not pleased with the way that Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher's trial was handled by the Navy. Eddie will retire peacefully with all of the honors that he has earned." Gallagher's lawyer telling NBC News.
Well, anyways, that'll be the end of it, guys. But you can kind of see why the military supports Donald Trump. I mean, what other option do they have?
Right.
Anyways, guys, Semper Fi, do or die. Semper Fi, do or die.
All right. See y'all later.